everybody. How is everybody doing? Well, I'm here and I'm using a new broadcaster called Prism. I discovered this last night while watching a recorded live that another YouTuber does who goes around the city of Toronto. Well, I hope this helps, because what it does, fellers and fellettes, is it takes all of your broadcasting, like your Facebook account, right, and your TikTok account, and your YouTube, for example, and it puts it all together into one broadcast. So it brings everybody together. So what I'm going to ask is that you sit back, you relax, crack open a nice cold drink, whether it be a beer or rum and Coke, or rum and Coke and eggnog, or whatever. Or if you're driving the school bus through the cornfield and you go flying out of the driver's seat, well, that's okay too. Yep, that's good. Yep, nope, terrible idea. Anyway, what am I doing right now? You're going to hear a loud beeping noise. Don't worry, it's not beginning of the apocalypse. It's just my deep fryer. I'm making fish and chips for lunch. So I can hear it doing its thing over there. I can smell a bit of it, a bit of the oil cooking. So that's going to be on its way here pretty soon. All right. This is the new test of the new media broadcasting format called Prism. Not Prison, Prism. We'll see. Okay, we're at 341. All right, let's bring down the... Okay, and that comes down. Yep. And that comes over. Yep. That goes there. Oh, it sure does. These go there. That goes there. What else goes there? The salt. Something. Oh, forgot the ketchup. Okay, here we go. Oh man, do I feel good about this. I've got in excess of 2,000 followers on Facebook, so I hopefully, between Facebook and YouTube, they're able to work together and be able to, whoa, I don't think I'll hurt it any. Nah, okay, big fat won't hurt me. Okay, so I got the strainer there, all ready to go. This all ready to go? Yep, that's all good. Yep. Okay. That should be up against that. Near there we go. Now we're cooking with farts. I was doing that last night. Holy crap, was I farting. Can't believe that. Anyway. Okay, 366, 371 now. Okay. Pretty soon it's gonna go beep 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 beep. Or beep beep beep. And then I gotta run over and put the fish and chips inside the holder. All right. Okay. There we go. Oh, there we are. All right. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Okay. All right. Start with these. Whoa. Hang on a minute here. Hold on a second here. We don't want to drop in hot oil like that. No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay, so those two place through the mat systematically. I don't know. Push this off. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we are. All right, that's on its way. Wow. I wonder how this is doing. How many people come through the room? Let's take a look and see. Okay. You're watching this live broadcast on a Samsung S23. in 1080 DP. The platform I'm using is Prizm, P-R-I-Z-E-M, and it's a multicasting broadcaster that brings all of your media, social media into one. So, for example, I have both my Facebook and my YouTube going as one, and we're broadcasting through YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. So I'm curious to know how many viewers I got. Let's take a look and see. I got one. All right, welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's adjust this a bit if I can. It's a new selfie stick that I'm using, selfie stick / tripod, and I'm going to try that for a bit and see if it works just on its own when I'm doing the walkabout broadcast later on this afternoon after the lights go down. I want to see the Christmas lights in my neighborhood, so I'm going to go for a walk. Temperature right now is positive 4 degrees here in Calgary, but we still have snow. Still pretty decent out there. I'll show you. I'll take you for a walk here. Okay, here we go. See it for yourself. Beautiful day. Lots of snow here in Calgary. Well, not lots. About 10 centimeters. Yeah, that's plenty. So, sorry about the shakiness. Get you back over there. There we go. Okay. So, this is where we're at. We got snow. All right, I'm just going to leave this here, and I'm going to monitor how many, yeah, okay. I like how that's set up, I think. All right. Okay. So, let's check on the fish and chips. Fish and chip Lunchables I'm making. 59 seconds left. Let's get the tray out. Which one am I using? I guess this one. All right. Okay. Always good for stuff. All right. Let's see how this turns out. Let's see. All right. Oh, that looks delicious. Oh my gosh. What does it cost for fish and chips these days? About 30 bucks? $25, $30 for a single person to get fish and chips? Well, I made fish and chips for lunch today. And I'll tell you, I am so impressed with the outcome. Very, very impressed. So, what else is going on? Hopefully you're having a Merry Christmas where you are and enjoying your time this holiday season. I know I am. And the season of Christmas just keeps on giving. Last night, I put up a 10-second short video of the snow that we had. Well, wake up today, look at the results, and I've got 1,600 people that came through to see it. 1,600. So basically, a packed movie theater filled about 4 to 6 times. I am so happy. I am so gosh darn happy about that. Oh my Lord. So thank you to each and every one of you for that. That's just phenomenal. Okay, go time. Go time it is. All right, let's move these. Ooh, that's hot. Okay. And we're going to pour in the vinegar. Put you over there. There we go. And some plenty of that. Salt. That. Give it a good shake. Oh boy, that looks good. And I pour that right there. Okay. And we got the ketchup. Oh boy. Now, the fork. Chow down. Okay. Oh boy. This is going to be a nice lunch today. I'm telling you, backseaters. This is going to be a tasty lunch. Okay. Ah, gosh darn it. I got to show you what I'm eating here. Okay. Now, I told you it would be about 25 to 30 bucks before tip and taxes and other things, right? For fish and chips. Well, beer battered fillets of fish times 2, and a healthy helping of French fries. Look at that, eh? Total cost $6. Not that, even in a recession. Or interest prices, I should say. Interest rate prices. There we go. Still not bad. Price-wise. Can't complain about that. And the taste, amazing. I've got this down to a science. The first time I made this, the fish and chips were a little too dark brown and a little too hard the first time I made it. Well, I've gotten so good at making this, all I did was adjust my timing from 6 minutes in the deep fryer to 4 minutes. Makes all the difference. And this is delicious. The chip, I make them to the salt and pepper. The salt and vinegar variety. And I've run out of tartar sauce. However, I realized that there's a number of ingredients in ketchup that are the same as tartar sauce taste-wise. So I went ahead and they haven't got any tartar sauce yet in the store. I could make my own. I did that before, back in the early summer. I made a batch of tartar sauce and it didn't turn out too bad. It was a little bit rummy. But I enjoyed that. And that was back before I bought this deep fryer. Well, I'm so happy with this deep fryer. I paid $79 at a a remarketer of new products called Open Box, and they're like so many others out there that you go into, and the prices are lower because the store conglomerate bought out other locations that were going out of business. So they, somewhere along the way, they bought out another chain that went out of business, and one of the products was a deep fryer for $79 Canadian. So it was a great purchase, though, because I've used it about 30 times, and each time turns out beautifully. So, being Christmas Day, am I going to do the turkey? You're probably wondering. And the answer is yes. In fact, I already prepared the turkey last night. Prepared it, it was all done at 4 o'clock and already ready to go. And I went ahead and got her all ready. So, it's in the fridge, actually. I just have to warm it up. And that was prepared in my slow cooker. What I purchased was a butterball chicken breast for $20. It was stuffed, already had the stuffing in it, and I just had to buy the dressing, potatoes, and vegetables separate. So what I did was the vegetables, I put them in the slow cooker along with the turkey breast and made that up. And it took, the usual 7 hours. But when it came out, beautiful, just absolutely tasty. So that was a treat. Made up the gravy and put the gravy on the potatoes and dished out the cranberry sauce and enjoyed that. Now, you're wondering, why am I doing this? I got family, I got kids, I got better half. What am I doing? Well, I'm the only one that's retired, and everybody else is working. I don't have a mortgage. I have rent that I pay for this place. And everybody else in the family has mortgages, including my better half with her house. So they're busting their humps right now. They're on duty. If you hear a siren in the distance, probably police. And with the fact that my family is on duty right now, start with my eldest boy. He's a seismologist / EMS person, and he's brand new to EMS. Shout outs to my boy Joshua, my eldest, who works out of the Ottawa Renfrew detachment, and he starting at a new fire hall this week. So prayers and everything are to you, Josh. Now, my second oldest boy, Jacob, is a lot like me. He likes everything. Likes everything, and it's a love-hate relationship with it. So he's been doing what he's been doing for the last 16 years. He's a firefighter, and he works out of the Edmonton Grand Prairie detachments, and works forest fighting. So that's what he does. And right now with the snow season, he's slowed back a little bit, but not much, because there is a threat. If it's dry up there, it can burn. Okay, I'll have you know, the forest can burn in the wintertime as well. Just because it's winter doesn't mean the threat's gone down. In fact, the threat's gotten worse, because the fire can burn underground much quicker. The ground being frozen, the roots are loaded with sap, so they become an absolute fire torch. So Jacob, he's doing that right now. And then there's my baby of the family, apple of my eye, Ashley. Ashley is a police sergeant with Calgary Police. She came to Calgary Police about 6.5 years ago. And it's been a great adventure ever since then for her. She's worked, all of them are working right now. They're all on duty. And shout outs to my children and their families. Ashley's husband is also a police officer, Scotty. He's here in the city. And he'll be working this evening. Ashley is a hit streets, if they haven't already. And I know in our district we have a few new recruits, and they're being shown the ropes. So, being a sergeant, Ash gets into it and loves her job and loves to impart her experience on the younger generation. So, shout outs to my little girl. And then there's my better half, Sarah. Sarah and I have known each other since 1996. And she now works as a communications officer with my local police agency here in Calgary. She's been there a number of years. And is actually matron of the office now. She's on duty right now because it's Christmas. She loves working Christmas, and I don't mind. It's overtime, it's extra cash. She's got about another 5 or 6 years, and she'll be fully retired, eligible for retirement. And she'll decide at that point what she wants to do, whether she wants to join me, which she seems to hint she wants to, or she'll carry on. So it'll remain to be seen as time goes on. Myself, 3 years ago, I fully retired from working the government. I put in a lot of hours, and I started working for the government in 1981, worked all the way through, and different departments, different areas. And then I fully retired, more or less, in 2020. Now, with the kids, I've trained them, taught them, bequeathed upon them what I learned. I learned it from my grandpa. Put that on me when I was 11 years old. And from that point, all the way up to my 50th birthday, I put away 4% for every paycheck that I earned, whether it was working a day job, whether it was working whatever, okay, a day contract or a week contract or whatever. 4% of every paycheck I put away and I never touched. And here I am now. So same thing, I had the same discussion with my children, and I'm proud to say they've all followed suit. They know that there's nothing left in the government coffers for them when they retire. And they're going to retire well, comfortably. And that's the whole important thing. So, I'm enjoying my retirement, not getting into too much mischief anymore. Long story short, I'm a YouTuber now. I started with YouTube in 2018, following the footprint and footsteps of a very prominent YouTuber, Corey Barrett, formerly known as Tall Guy Car Reviews. Now he just goes by the name Tall Guy sometimes. Anyway, Corey's, when he started in YouTube, I guess it was 2015. His story is that he always wanted to get a muscle car, and number two, get into a position in life where you could make a good amount of money, honestly, and live, quote unquote, by good means. Well, Corey had a few major challenges in life that prevented him from working for the American government. He's a U.S. citizen, and being bonded, essentially. So he worked his way around that, and in sitting down with lawyers, one of them presented YouTube on his lap in 2014. Said, "Here you go, kid. This is going to be your one chance to make it. If you're smart, you'll rise to the challenge, like your nemesis did back in the year 2000, which was a rapper who lived in the trailer parks in Michigan." And that's the way life is, fellers and fellettes. We get that one opportunity and we rise to it. Yes, there are a lot of challenges and bumps along the road. And I've discovered that with YouTube, you know, for memory's sake. I was locked out of my YouTube account for 1 year because of the verification process. I had bought a new cell phone and decided to change the number at the same time. Wrong thing to do. Well, got me into all kinds of hoopla trying to get in to my account. I couldn't get in. I was locked out. I no longer had access to the original phone number, and YouTube would only send verification to that number. So I had to find a way to get back in, and I did. After a year, I came across a website called pissedoffconsumer.com, and long story short, it's run by former employees of Google, and they assist people to get back into their accounts. Well, pissedoffconsumer.com did me a lot of help in getting back into YouTube. So I got back in. Now, it's not to say I didn't start again, you know, with a new account. I did. That's Calgary Rambler Reloaded. That's where that came in. And that account has done well. I was looking at it earlier and I smiled. There are quite a few of my videos that are over 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views. So I'm quite impressed with that. And living up here in the cold tundra of northern, not really northern, central Canada, I guess you could say. Is it? Yeah, I guess. Anyway, it's quite a ways north of the United States. And is there a good viewer base up here? You betcha. And I'll tell you right now, I was very impressed when I managed to get monetized, not just once, but twice on TikTok. And I was so happy about that. 2 separate accounts I'm monetized on. Now, I shut down the first account after a bit of grief that I had with a hacker who judiciously hacked into my account and made a mess of it. So TikTok froze that account up, and I had to start again with a second one. Well, here I am again. About a week or so ago, I was monetized on that account. Filled out all the information for the taxes and tax forms and that kind of thing for the IRS last week. And yeah. So, thanks to pissedoffconsumer.com for getting me back into YouTube, into my Calgary Rambler page. I know I have to do them a big large. They also, even though I'm not at 1,000 subscribers yet, they opened up my lives so I can make live videos. And that's what we're doing today. We're essentially broadcasting through Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. It's a simultaneous broadcast. So it's awesome, guys. What a privilege. So I want to get this one monetized. And I've been watching very closely over the last month on how to monetize my channel on YouTube. And I come across a provider of knowledge, I'll say, called VidIQ. VidIQ. And VidIQ is run by a group of YouTube professionals who've been at it a long time. They know the ins and outs, of developing a YouTube channel, and how to get the monetization, and how to stay on a steady growth pattern. And it's getting easier now through YouTube. YouTube, for a while, I was getting depressed. It just didn't seem that it would work. However, people around me were growing. And just yesterday, on a live, one of the Toronto people, young guy, maybe 31, 32 years of age, just got monetized on YouTube. And what does he do? Just like Johnny Strides, who does this exact same thing. They walk around with their cameras like I have here, broadcasting now, except they're walking around the city where they live and other cities in the close proximity with the cameras going, showing the general public what's there. How easy is that? If you can get around, even if you're in a wheelchair, you could do this. So, and does it amount to money? Yes, it does. I can certainly tell you, watching other YouTubers, they've done very well financially. There's one YouTuber that I watch, Auto Auction Rebuilds. Randy is his name. He lives in South Central United States. And Randy's been on YouTube for about 17, 18 years. So basically since YouTube's inception, back in 2010, 2011. And Randy has been growing steadily. Randy is at, I think, almost 600,000 subscribers. And that makes for a big income. It does. Randy has bought numerous brand new vehicles, bought a house. He's a father, married, has a business in auto resale. And one of the avenues that Randy uses is Copart. And internet auto auctions. Now, those two sites, they sell vehicles that are they are vehicles that have had, so I'll put it this way, they've had some repurposing. Some of them have been crashed, but you can use them for parts or rebuild them. Randy profiles these vehicles on his channel, which is absolutely great. The other flip side of the coin is that he's shows us on his channel the car from the time he buys it, time he views it, I should say, all the way to the point where he resells it again. And I followed one vehicle, a 2006 Mustang GT, white in color, that he bought, 146,000 miles. Nice car, okay? Not perfect by any means, but a very nice vehicle, well looked after, well purposed. And Randy showed us from the day he first saw the car at Copart to the day later where he bid for it and won successfully, to the point where it's delivered to his home, to the point where the vehicle is what it needs. Very few things that it needed. I think just a few fluid change and gas, basically, in this case. And I think a windshield. So he did all that, drove it around for a bit, added it to his collection of other vehicles that he had bought from Copart and other auction sites. Well, one day Randy decides, okay, I've got too many cars. I've got to sell a bunch before I can get going again, to buy again. I've used up all my money. So he sells these vehicles and is now buying more. So that car in particular, he didn't make any money on it, but he didn't lose either. It's that kind of vehicle, you know. You walk up to it and you just know that it's a good, solid car. So he did well. And that's what he does over and over and over again. Has there been cars that are on this channel that could make a good amount of money? Yes. Another Mustang that he bought. Much newer. 2021. Only had 3,000 kilometers on it. But here it comes. The car was a flood-damaged vehicle. Beautiful package, leather interior, automatic, Coyote 5-liter engine. Only 3,000 kilometers, so it's brand new. And open the door, I like, whoo, man, the smell. Well, Randy buys the car successfully for $21,000. That car retails at $56,000. Okay. Randy has it for a while, cleans it up, takes it in, gets the interior ionized, because you have to after that kind of thing. And it was done properly. The professionals that he brought it to, they removed the interior and ionized it, ionized the carpets, and cleaned up the seats, but the water didn't get all the way in. It only got to one spot in the interior. So that was a good thing. One little spot up near the foot pedals on the driver's side, not on the passenger side. There was nothing there. Just on the driver's side up by the pedals. So the car was on an angle. However, here's the thing, okay? Water gain there. You would think there'd be water inside the engine, right? No, there wasn't. And there wasn't milky milkshake in the oil or the transmission. They were checked. The rear differential was checked, everything. Randy took the car to Ford after he was done with the detail shop. He drove it over to Ford, and the guys changed every fluid in the car, every fluid. and they tested all the fluids that came out. So this is Ford, okay? Okay, not some little third-rate bebop shop in the middle of the country. No, this was a licensed, bonded Ford dealership. And Randy comes up to pick up the Mustang a number of hours later, and he asks nervously. He asks the service manager. He says, "Okay, how bad were things?" And the guy said, "Nothing." Randy said, "What?" The guy said, "Nothing." He says, "You changed the oil?" He said, "Yep." "Nothing. We tested it. There was nothing wrong with your oil." So we put all new oil in, did a flush, the whole works. New filters, everything. He says, "Okay, you did the brakes." "Yes, we did the brakes. We blew out the brake lines, everything." "Nothing." Holy smokes. The transmission. Now here's an important one. Never ever get water inside a transmission. Well, nothing. Randy was stunned. I was stunned. I couldn't believe I was hearing that. Not a single problem. So, other than a terrible smell, which was rendered and dealt with, Randy did a detail on the car and sealed the paint, changed all the fluids. The car was as brand new. He could go out and romp on with all he wanted. So between Randy and his wife, they enjoyed it for about, I think, another 3,000 miles and then sold it. And he had the potential to make a lot of money. However, the only thing that I think held him back on that from actually making a big profit was the fact that it was a branded title. It went from being a fire-damaged car, or pardon me, not fire, flood-damaged vehicle, rebranded to rebuilt. And he could have made a bazillion. You know, a rebuilt title can go in anything with just a cracked bumper. You could buy a Honda Prelude in the US with a cracked front bumper, and that can get written off. This is how crazy those people are, okay? They'll write off, oh my God, I can't believe the cars that they write off. I just can't, you know? Randy likes to buy cars that are flood damaged. And I just finished watching a video series where he went to meet up with Sam Crack, the chicken farmer in Florida, and YouTuber extraordinaire. And Sam Crack sold him two vehicles. He sold him a Cadillac Atlanti convertible and a Corvette. And truth be told, the Cadillac was having a lot of problems, I'll tell you. You know, but they brought it back at a minimal cost. I couldn't believe it. I would have scrapped that car. You know, with the stuff they were having problems with, keeping the transmission clean, to milkshake in the engine, to problems with the doors, not the doors themselves, but the window actuators, because everything is power in these cars. And who knows how long that Atlanti was under the water. And long enough that when they pulled out the parts for the doors and were going through them, they could see corrosion had built up on parts that were underneath the water. And in Florida, the water is salt water. So they got the car back to him, drove it all the way from Florida to Randy's state of Oklahoma, and Randy worked for the next several weeks to restore that car, basically. It didn't take much. It was aggravating, but it didn't take much. They got the brakes working properly. They got the doors working right. The windows would go up and down. They got the computer working right. And the biggest problem with these plastic General Motors junk cars is the shifters are plastic. There's too much plastic in the shifters. So it was a matter of adjustment. But they got it done. Clean up, adjustment. And they got everything done, and that Atlanti turned out to be quite a gorgeous car in the end. Randy, he might still have it for all I know. I think he does. The Corvette, that was an easy sell. Gone. But it too wasn't without its gremlins. While driving back to Oklahoma, the Corvette did, I think it overheated once or something along that line. He had to pull over because the temperature gauge was too high. Oh, goodness me. So Randy persisted, and both vehicles sold. Now, brings to my memory one incident that happened when he still had that white 06 Mustang GT. This was about 3-4 weeks ago, while on a live broadcast. I was watching. Randy was driving down the road, normal, okay, not spinning his tires, not being an idiot in any way, fit, or form. The car was already sold, and he just wanted to make sure everything was good. So he was driving down the road about half a mile from his shop, when out of nowhere this old curmudgeon shows up, leans back and throws something, and it hits the Mustang. Randy stops, puts the car in reverse, backs up to the guy and says, "What are you doing? Why did you do that?" type thing. And not so many decent words. And the guy said, "Oh, I'm sick and tired of you thrashing and doing this and doing that all the time and zipping up and down the road." And Randy said, "You like to throw rocks, huh? You like to throw rocks?" Well, puts the camera on the guy. Of course, I wouldn't know who he was. However, lots of people that watch Randy's channel are from that area, backseaters, and they recognized who the rock thrower was. The rock thrower is well, might not be anymore, but as of that point, the rock thrower was an employed firefighter with one of the cities nearby where the dealership was located. So, holy snap. And then I thought, okay, I'm a trained investigator. I'm going to take a look. So I went through the comments, found out the firefighter's name that people were saying who they were sure it was. Went and did a backgrounder on the guy. There had been other complaints about this firefighter. And I thought to myself, do I know firemen who behave that way? Well, I was a fireman when I got out of the military for a brief while. And I can tell you, there are firemen who behave that way. Job goes through their head. So, the idiot, the rock thrower, the idiot, okay, calls the police on Randy. Randy knew that the cops were going to show up. He says, "I'm just going to sit here on my front porch in front of my shop. I'm going to wait for the police because I know they're coming." Well, 3 hours later, an unmarked police car comes in, and we're introduced to a very, very well-seasoned officer from the Oklahoma State Police, and it's an unmarked car. He's in uniform though, and he was kind of shaking his head. He says, we had a complaint, right? He said, yeah, I'm aware. I know there was something that happened. And the state trooper says to him, he says, you were driving? And Randy said, yeah, I had my seatbelt on, driving normal, speed limit. It was all on video. And the officer nodded. Says, you got a channel? He said, yeah, it was live. So I figured so. We saw it. And as soon as he said, we saw it, I went, oh, okay, here it goes. So a bit more conversation goes back and forth. And the officer certifies who Randy is, and da-da-da-da-da. And anyway, announces bluntly, he says, we've had problems with this firefighter before. This person, he didn't say firefighter, he said this person before. He is a person of influence himself, and throwing rocks. Oh, jeez. What's next? So he puts this cruiser in gear, backs out of the driveway, says, I'll go over and talk to him. I haven't yet. There might be a couple other investigators over talking to him right now. We'll convene, and if we need you for anything else, we'll let you know. Was there any damage to the car? And Randy said, well, yeah, there probably was, but I'm not going to worry about it, because there was scratches, and I saw them on a later video. So the officer drives away, and that's when I took a look at the comments, saw the firefighter's name, went investigated the firefighter, and found out where his department was, and saw pictures of him to verify. And yes, it was him, indeed him. So, firefighter throwing rocks. My dealing with not a rogue firefighter, but a bully firefighter, was while I was working in Mississauga, Ontario, at the airport. One day, I'm on duty, and we have this car that's pulled into at the curb. Nobody with it, so I tag it, radioing in for the fire truck, radioing in for tow truck to come and tow it. Well, along comes the fire department, and out of the cab the chair of command, I call it, comes a captain, and comes storming up to me and says, whose effing car is this? And I said, I don't know. He says, it's parked in front of the fire hydrant. You gonna do anything about it? I was like, hey, calm down, Mac. I said, take a look at the windshield. Okay? And I says, I'm waiting on a tow truck right now. Tow truck's on the way. Should be here in about half a minute. So he kept persisting. I'm not going to get into exact words what was said back and forth, but he kept persisting and persisting to the point where I was ready to charge him. I came within a hair's width of charging that firefighter. Very narcissistic, sociopathic attitude. That event happened on the eve of reading a newspaper article about a different firefighter who had to end his career early because of an ailment that he had. Anyway, the attitude. And that's what I noticed with some firemen. Not always, but some. That they have a bad attitude. Firemen don't like law enforcement. Judges don't like law enforcement either. Judges hate cops. Believe it or not, yes, judges hate the police, okay? And this day where I was working my usual shift, I wasn't even a curbside officer. I was going from terminal to terminal. Terminal 1, Terminal 2, Terminal 3, and Terminal 1 new. So 4 terminals. And overseeing 165 provincial offenses officers while they were performing their duties of the day. And the reason why I was on the curb and I tagged that vehicle, not one of my subordinates, was because the subordinate was on lunch. And I'm a nice guy. So I'll come down from or get out of my squad car, and I'll walk over and I'll say, okay, you can go on your lunch and I'll fill in for you. Never a problem. Didn't bother me. I always ate my lunch in the cruiser anyway. I'd go to Wendy's or something like that, but these officers were tied down to being where they were. So I wanted to make it as decent a employment position as possible, I guess you could say. Well, they were all good, my subordinates. And this is just one of those days where I was filling in for one who was on their lunch break. When this abusive fire captain pulls up and goes all anal on me. So I almost charged him. However, driving home that night, I had his profile in a folder sitting in the passenger seat of my car. I pulled over into this park where police officers, firefighters, EMS go in Toronto, and I started looking at this folder because something really was biting the back of my mind here. Something familiar about this guy. So I started going through it, and then it came. There it was, Oakville, Ontario. Early 90s. Dishonorably discharged from Oakville. And I went, Jesus Christ. This is that guy. Well, when I got out of the military in 1992, as I told you, went to Kingston for a short while, met up with a girl. She entices me to move to Oakville. So I moved to Oakville. And there she is. And we get along great, everything, da-da-da-da-da. Didn't really happen, though. But long story short, I lived in Oakville. In the house where I was staying, there was quite a few people who resided, came and went, that kind of thing in that house. And there was a lot of things left behind, and one of them was a painting of a little boy sitting on a chair, and on top of the chair, it was a tall chair, okay, on top of the chair, on the spools, mounted was a hat, a fireman's hat. And on the other side of the boy was one of the tools used in the trade for the fire department to gain access, right? The Halligan. So an early model Halligan. So I'm with this picture. It was drawn by chalk pencil, and sketched, and the person who signed it was long gone. So I thought, it's a beautiful picture, though. I'd hate to throw it in the garbage. Maybe they'll accept it as a donation at the fire department. Besides, I work in Rexdale anyway, so firefighter to firefighter, they'll like it. So I get into the station, and going into the station, there was a group of EMS personnel and firefighter personnel working with the new Stokes and getting it ready to go out. Well, you remember the captain I was telling you about? He was still just a firefighter back then. And he looked at me with flaming eyes, like I was public enemy number one. Like, who the F am I to be there? And I was like, hold on. I got an appointment with the fire chief. And I couldn't believe his attitude. So a couple of the firemen came up and said, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. And so I brought the picture into the fire station and met the fire chief. And he was a nice guy, super nice guy. Accepted the picture, asked me if I was going for gratuities, which is basically, trying to get on the good side so I can get a quick promotion, right? And I said, no, not at all, sir. I said, no, this picture was abandoned in my house. I was going to throw it out anyway. He said, I'm glad you didn't. Well, he accepted it. And then as I left, I saw that firefighter again, but he was dealing with whatever it was he was dealing with. So it was the same guy. Well, flash forward to 3 years ago. I'd gone to Toronto, and a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, who was just a boy back then, was someone that I rescued in a house fire. The house that he was in, the townhouse, had an electrical surge during a thunderstorm, and one of the appliances caught fire electronically, and a TV exploded. So it started the whole place basically on fire. 3 boys were at home. One of them was just a little gaffer. Well, got the boys out, got the award, all that good stuff, all that jazz. Flash forward to 3 years ago. The youngest just graduated the police academy, and is now a certified police officer. I was his inspiration. Seeing the big, tall, 6'2" 245-pound monster standing there gagging after pulling him out of a burning house, nearly losing my life in the process. But I got out. I was fine. I got him out. And, seeing him again, was something. But I met him about a month and a half after I had the run-in with that abusive firefighter. I forget where I was going with this, but it goes to be said that we should always show proper, decent behavior when we're dealing with the public, because you never know where it can lead you. So, I remember now. On the day that I went to the college where young Xavier graduated, I ran into a firefighter who recognized me. So he comes over and introduces himself and introduces me to his wife and his son who's graduating. And he says, I know you from somewhere. And I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, it goes back quite a few years. And lo and behold, he was not the guy, but he was standing next to the guy that I spoke to about that abusive firefighter who told me, don't worry about him, type thing. And I said, whatever happened to that guy? And he says, well, he's dead now. He got a really bad form of leukemia and couldn't beat it, and he died. Died while on leave of absence from work. I just shook my head. I didn't say it, but it was in my mind. Karma. So always treat others with respect, because you never know. You never know. And you know, backseaters, fellers and fellettes, in the last year, I've had 3 people that I've had in my life that all of them were a crook in my neck. Okay, every one of them. And they're all dead. They all died of cancer. I can tell you, you know, God will act in strange and unexplained ways, but God will always get the final word. And that's what happened here. The firefighter and those other people, well, yeah. So that was a good lunch. I wasn't able, I'm going to finish off the chips later on, but oh man, I'm full. I gotta save room for supper tonight for the turkey. Okay, let's get this put away. All right, why am I doing it this way? It's not going in there. It's going over here. Okay, container. There we are. All right. I got a lid. I got a lid. I got a lid. Uh-oh. Change container. Change container. Okay. Wait a minute, is that clean? Nope. Okay. That clean? Yep. Yep. All right. Oh, goodness, goodness, kindness. Well, okay, this broadcast has worked out well. I'm very, very impressed. I've had one person who's stayed in and oops, almost knocked that over. And worked out well. Okay, so I'm back. Okay. So I got one person from Facebook who's watching, which is nice. I've had other people coming and going, and that's awesome. So it's a success. But the media broadcaster that I'm using is phenomenal. The power of that thing. As time goes on, I'm going to tie in my TikTok account into this too, and TikTok has a lot more transient traffic, so it'll the numbers will pick up. I have to keep trying though, because the ROTP number didn't match what TikTok had in file, and TikTok only accepts a very few number for the ROTP broadcast. TikTok uses different software than YouTube and Facebook, but it'll work out in the end. Having this broadcaster helps out, because TikTok can just lend its software imaging to the broadcaster, and the broadcaster ties it all in to become one broadcast. So I'm at home now, and using the Prism software and That's the super broadcaster connecting into Facebook and YouTube right now. And what I'm going to do, if I can, is I'm going to try to tie it into my YouTube, both YouTube accounts, as well as the both TikTok accounts. And that should help the traffic quite a bit. I will say, TikTok is twice in a row I was monetized, twice. So it's much easier to get monetized in TikTok than it ever is in YouTube. But YouTube is the big one. Okay? YouTube is, it's like comparing a staying on vacation in a RV versus being able to go inside of a fully equipped hotel room. Okay? I'll put it that way. And which would you rather have, right? Would you rather sit in the parking lot in the little RV? Or would you rather be inside of a fully, with full amenities, a hotel, 5-star hotel? Which one do you prefer? I know which one I would prefer. So, the power of YouTube is phenomenal, but it just takes time to grow, and it's going to take a bit. I got to get back to what I do really well. I discovered how to work with the algorithm based on the numbers of that video that I made last night. That is phenomenal. I can't believe that in 11 hours, 1,607 people came and viewed it. Oh, wow. And the numbers, they stayed for the whole mini video. So the wording was correct. The tags were correct. The description was correct. It drew people in. Now this one didn't really do much of a description. I just put Merry Christmas, I think, and that was it. You know, I'm going to do better descriptions as time goes on and see if I can use VidIQ to give me words for my live broadcasts to get it out there to the viewing public in a way they can see it, because I'm not sure people could see it today, but that's going to change. So once again, this is a success. I've got to charge the battery on this, so I'm going to turn off the broadcast, but I am coming back in a few hours once the battery's fully charged on the phone, and I'll be mobile as I do it. I'll be outside, so stay tuned for that. It's a Samsung S23, so therefore it's got titanium aluminum motherboard. It's not a plastic motherboard. That's important when you're a broadcaster out there. It's very important that you have an extremely durable phone. And this one and the one before it were extremely durable. The one before this was a S21 fan edition. And this one is a S23, just a regular S23. But it's got a stabilizer on it and night viewer stabilizer. So it's pretty good. And from what I've heard, playing back older videos and watching myself for a few moments in each one, the sound quality is pretty good for the S23 microphone as well, which helps. However, that's not going to stop me from purchasing a external mic, which I can clip onto my jacket, complete with the little muffler on it, the fuzzy thing, and that'll help out as well. You'll be able to hear me as I'm talking much closer, as opposed to being far away. So, all right, backseaters, I'm going to call that a wrap. Thank you for coming in. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and hit that like button. Alrighty. And until I come back in a few hours, stay good, stay real. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and we'll be talking to you. Okay, talk to you in a bit.